Hello everyone, my name is, well, you really don't care what my name is. Let's talk about the Alamo, shall we? The Alamo was a missionary that was built in the 1700s and it was going to be used to help convert the natives. However, it was never completed, so it was abandoned. It wasn't until the Texas Revolution came around that it was used as a fort. From February 23rd all the way to March 6, 1836, this fort was used during the battle against Santa Anna's forces that were close to 2,000 men against the rebels that were inside the fort. That was close to 200, or maybe a little more than 200, or less than 200. I don't know. There's been a lot of different numbers from different historians that thought this is how many men were inside the Alamo. Either way, these men fought against Santa Anna's forces for 13 days before they were killed. But their death was not in vain, as Sam Houston and his forces were inspired by these brave men and were able to capture Santa Anna and gain independence from Mexico. And you know what? I love this part of history because it shows that because these men knew that they didn't have a chance, but they still kept on fighting because they had hoped that Sam Houston would come and help them out. But even after finding out that he's not going to arrive anytime soon, they still wanted to stay. They wanted to continue fighting. And I like that. And even though there is some controversy of how this revolution began, I still like this part of history. And that's why it disappoints me when Hollywood can't make a very good movie of this. Thus, we got The Alamo 2004, which was a box office disaster. This movie had a budget of $107 million, and it only made $25 million. And it's a shame, too, because I thought this movie had the potential to be a good historical movie, but it wasn't. The story for this movie focuses on Sam Houston, on David Crockett, James Bowie, and William Barrett Travis, all four men who played a very important role in the Texas Revolution. And three of these men were inside the Alamo when they fought against Santa Anna. And you know what? I didn't have a problem with, focusing on these men, but I don't know why. It wasn't interesting at all when we got to focus on them. William Travis in the story wasn't very interesting. James Bowie as well. We didn't know much about him either. David Crockett and Sam Houston, to me, were the only ones that were getting more focus in the story. And yeah, I mean, David Crockett's story a little bit was much better, especially when he told the story to some of the men about a fight that he had long ago and against some natives. And yeah, that was the only interesting part of the story. And in every one of these kind of historical movies, whenever they try to get to the important battle part, they take a very long time in the story. It's happened before. It happened with Pearl Harbor, and that bore the hell out of people. When we finally got to the battle, that was the only entertaining part. And in this story, all I could think of, just get to the fight against the Alamo. Just get to the Battle of the Alamo. Just get to that part. That's all I want to see. The final stand. That's all I want to see. And yeah, that's the only interesting part of the story. And there is one more battle, which was the Battle of I hope I said this right. Jacinto. I hope I said it right. If not, that was the battle of when Sam Houston and his forces were able to capture Santa Anna. But even then, that felt rushed. That felt very rushed when they did that. And it was, I don't know why. That's just the ending for it was very quick. And you just need to end it very quickly. Not just like that. So, yeah, for the story, it's not all good. I was very disappointed. The characters as well were very disappointing. Jason Patrick played as James Bowie. Patrick Wilson as William Travis. I didn't like them at all. I know they tried to have these two look like they're friends or something. No, I got bored with their conversation and everything. Billy Bob Thornton playing as Davy Crockett. I thought he did a good job playing him, and he looked the part. But I don't know. I didn't like him either in this story playing this role. Dennis Quaid, the same thing with Sam Houston. Didn't like him at all. And who they got to play Santa Anna, I don't know. I just felt like were they trying to insult us or something? I don't know. Like, I know Santa Anna was not a nice guy. He was a dictator, but really, they just made him look like a typical bad guy you would see in any other movie. So, yeah, I just didn't like that at all. The effects for this were okay, especially using when it comes to this type of era they were setting this on. But and the music for it was pretty good. I actually did like the music. The battles were all done pretty well, especially how we're focusing on one side of the battle, then on one side and one side, because there was fighting all around the walls of the Alamo. Okay, they were fighting all around the walls, so they did a good job at that with the fighting. But everything else was just boring. I didn't really like it at all, and it's a shame that they made a movie based on this historical event and how it felt like it wasn't done well. I don't know. I was really disappointed with this movie. I really had hoped it was going to keep my interest because I love history. I do. But this movie is definitely not a good historical movie at all. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm very disappointed. Is there hope to make another one? Another Alamo movie? Maybe, but it needs to be done right. But even so, there's been too many Alamo movies already. I don't think another one will ever be made anytime soon. So, yeah, not a good movie. It's really not good representing the Battle of the Alamo or what happened during it. There's a lot of historical inaccuracy everywhere, so yeah, very disappointed. So that's it, everybody. If you have a different opinion about the Alamo movie, or any of the past Alamo movies, or just the Alamo itself, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think. I'll be here next time to give you more love and more entertainment. Take care. See y'all next time.